There's a consensus that natural gas is our cleanest form of energy. And more recently, we found that the environmental community is placing a great deal more emphasis on the contributions which natural gas can make to achieving their environmental goals. And the reason for this more aggressive stance toward natural gas for the environmental community is their growing confidence in long-term natural gas supply. Now, the contributions that gas can make are to two, really, major public policy goals: energy security and to reduce oil imports, and also to achieve our environmental goals. They can make a contribution to both. In the case of stationary energy, in particular, the highly efficient new applications of natural gas for generating electricity, the combined cycle turbines, the cogeneration, the select use of the co-burning of natural gas with coal, where some 5 to 10% of natural gas with coal can permit the mixture to meet environmental standards, and thus we use our two most plentiful domestic sources of energy. The second use is in transportation vehicles, because natural gas is a clean-burning and economic fuel produced here in America, many benefits, and especially in the areas of urban transit buses, many of which are now using diesel fuel. Natural gas can make a very major contribution to the clean air attainment goals in our cities. So for these reasons, the contribution of the natural gas energy to our nation's environmental goals is very impressive, and we're looking forward to seeing it happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to Los Angeles, California. We do ask that you remain seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to Denver, Colorado. For your safety as well as the safety of those passengers around you, we ask that you do remain seated with your seatbelt.
We could as easily be descending into the murky air of Dallas or Phoenix or New York City. Every large American city has its characteristic cloud of pollution. Most air pollution results from burning fuels for energy. Unfortunately, our insatiable appetite for energy has had unwanted and unpleasant consequences for people and for property. Fortunately, there is a solution.
Hello, my name is Henry Agins, and my job is to show you what's in the air, what it's doing to us, and more importantly, what we can do about it. Now, sometimes you can see the pollution forming. Sometimes we can feel it. But the worst pollution is the kind we neither see nor feel. It's invisible, but the damage it does is not. The air we breathe should consist mostly of nitrogen and oxygen, but modern man spews many other chemicals into the air. A very personal concern is the fact that we breathe 22,000 breaths a day of whatever's around us. That runner may breathe more than twice that much. Air pollution comes from the things essential to the civilization we have created: heat in winter, air conditioning in summer, transportation, and nights filled with light. Let's have a look at what the chemical byproducts of our lifestyle are and the damage they cause. The pollutants that cause the most harm to us and to our cities are well known: ozone, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, reactive hydrocarbons, and particulates, and all being produced down there every day.
These pollutants do not leave visible scars on people, but they clearly damage buildings and monuments amounting to $2 billion a year in the United States alone. They are slowly dissolving the nation's heritage. The most familiar air pollution is the most visible: particulates. We see them on windowsills and on clothing. This is what was collected from the air here in just one day. These are particulates that are so tiny, we refer to them as smoke shade. They can penetrate the body's natural defenses and carry cancer-causing chemicals to the lungs and other organs. Nearly all the sulfur dioxide, much of the nitrogen oxide, and a large part of the particulates that foul our air come from the smokestacks of boilers where coal or oil are burned to produce heat for office buildings, apartment houses, power stations, factories, and even private homes. This is what the tubes of an apartment house boiler look like after burning heavy oil. You saw what was collected from the atmosphere. This is where it came from, and you can see what was left. And these tubes are cleaned 3 times a year.
The simplest solution to this problem is a cleaner fuel. This boiler is identical to the one we saw a moment ago, only it burns natural gas. The difference is startling. Burning natural gas eliminates all sulfur dioxide and particulate pollution from industrial boilers and heating plants, and significantly reduces nitrogen oxide pollutants.
The need for electric air conditioning can add to pollution in another way. Great amounts of fuel must be burned in central power plants when cooling demand rises in the heat of the summer. Especially in this jungle at the Bronx Zoo in New York. Temperatures could easily soar to 140 degrees because the rainforest is in a greenhouse which holds inside the sun's heat. Without air conditioning, even jungle life could not survive. But this air conditioner, located in a room of the rainforest, operates on clean natural gas. And at the same time heats water for the jungle stream to the 85-degree temperature these residents require. And the air quality is closely checked. Soon, these gas-fired electric generators will provide all the power needed for the entire park. Each of 3 generators produces 665 kilowatts per hour, far more than the zoo requires. The excess will be sold to the electric utility. Natural gas provides a way in which additional power needs can be combined with other energy requirements. This is Shamu, and he needs a constant temperature of 54 degrees Fahrenheit for a healthy environment in his pool at San Diego SeaWorld. That temperature is maintained by chilling the water entering here, with a heat recovery unit that requires no fuel at all. It operates on heat recovered from here, a natural gas engine that generates on-site all the electric power required for this part of SeaWorld. The heat from the engine's exhaust enters here, where the heat energy operates the chiller. So little of the natural gas energy is wasted, both jobs are accomplished with far less fuel. The principle of generating electricity from natural gas, then using the heat produced for other productive purposes, is known as cogeneration. The Computer Center for all operations of California's home federal savings and loan offices uses this principle not only because of its efficiency, but because natural gas meets all energy needs here, with the cleanliness so essential for computer operation. What makes this natural gas turbine so economical is that as electric power is generated, the waste heat that a utility power plant vents into the atmosphere in these plumes of steam is put to work in these absorption chiller heaters that turn it into either heat or air conditioning and hot water. The efficient use of energy is increased enormously. The value of cogeneration has already been proven in places like Rice University in Houston. The entire complex of hospitals and research facilities at the Texas Medical Center gets electric power, heating, and air conditioning from cogeneration facilities. Here at Brooklyn's Starrett City, a natural gas total energy plant provides electricity, heat, air conditioning, and domestic hot water for 27,000 people in 5,800 apartments in 46 buildings. The plant plant has been providing continuous service to Starrett City since 1974.
By making a huge jump to natural gas for heating and air conditioning and power generation, we still haven't fully dealt with the air quality problem.
That brown haze is nitrogen dioxide. By itself, it is harmful to plants and humans. When it combines with volatile organic compounds, such as gasoline vapors, it forms ozone, a risk to health that may cause cancer and most certainly damages materials and foliage.
It is caused by the machine Americans love best, the automobile. And by the automobile's bigger cousins, buses and trucks. Up there, where it belongs, ozone in the stratosphere protects the Earth from the sun's ultraviolet radiation. But down here, ozone caused by traffic emissions produces a dangerous bruise.
Among the worst examples in the world is Mexico City, where the sickening soup that covers it may account for thousands of deaths each year. An ever-increasing number of buses, trucks, and cars fill the air with the worst pollutants. This city may hold the undesirable record, but other cities are coming close. This is Los Angeles. The ozone here comes from two chemicals produced by its cars and trucks. One of the chemicals comes from fuel that isn't burned. Some escapes at the fuel pump, and even more unburned hydrocarbons, such as gasoline or diesel oil, escape through the exhaust. Mixed with another exhaust product, nitrogen oxide, they join to form the ugly, destructive smog. Carried with it is another of the most common automobile pollutants, carbon monoxide. Tucson, Phoenix, and Denver were once so well known for their clean air that people with respiratory problems flocked to them for relief. Not anymore. The automobile took care of that. In New York City, the concentration of carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, ozone, and particulates put this street among the most unhealthy in America. Except for Mexico City, New York City has the greatest number of diesel buses of any city in North America. And diesel engines have a pollutant all their own. That dirty-looking exhaust is even worse than it looks. It carries with it several cancer-causing chemicals. And the tiniest particulates in that cloud carry these chemicals into the lungs. Long-term exposure to these pollutants in our air may cause or contribute to many illnesses. Cars and trucks emit the carbon monoxide that make the air of most American cities below federal health standards and give off the hydrocarbons that lead to smog. But one car here is different. It is producing almost none of either because it is operating on natural gas. The car is owned by Southwest Gas Corporation in Las Vegas. And while it operates on natural gas, it also creates far less nitrogen oxide and practically no particulates of any size. The vehicles are standard gasoline-burning cars and trucks, but they are given